Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Ice 9.11. And what we're doing a little bit different is playing this live on Twitch. So you'll be noticing the comments of the viewers while we're playing this. Bulgaria's looking a little bit blue and big, but mostly blue. Bulgaria. Well, to me that's turquoise in my categorization, and this is correct for Bulgaria. They had gotten this back from Romania, these three provinces, and again we were talking before starting this about the difference of the maps between 3 and 4. In Hearts of Iron 4, these three provinces have been joined as a single province. They got back what they had lost to Greece after World War I. During this time period, that was turned back to them. And they had gotten this whole sort of section of Yugoslavia. Most of, I don't know about this part, but this part is today the province formerly known as Macedonia, which of course Greece won't let them restore his kingdom. Yes. This is Boris's, I think Boris was the king right now, his increase. So this is sort of Bulgaria at its height in World War II, and I don't think it ever really had the kingdom of the Bulgars. Shouldn't it be darkish green? I think they did this to keep it from blending too much into Turkey. I can see green, darkish green as being a color for Bulgaria. Yeah, I could see that. Sort of, you know, their national flag type color or something, but I think it just sort of fits choice with theirs and not wanting to confuse that, but I can see that. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to me on YouTube, and of course you can follow me on Twitch. Love to see you around there. If you want to, I am going to be doing more and more live streams on YouTube. Of course, this one is still on. Okay, we're there. I was waiting for them to show up. Okay, we only have you. Oh, we need to, I think, get supplies coming down to here. Yes, we do need to do that. So, no, Mia? Okay. 83. We also need to build supply plants. Hey, dude, thank you for following. Or hosting, actually. See, now got the notice. Thanks, Arno, for hosting. Okay, create supply convoy coming out of Tokyo to Nomia. There we go. That'll make sure that we have the supplies must flow. And we will also start more production of that. Now, I think, well, this may be enough. Hopefully this will be enough. Let's try an invasion here. Nope. Oh. Trying to click on something, a piece of stuff that would be enough of a land. Oh, come on. There we are. And that's another thing they have. No, I've not got a Twitch affiliation yet. I qualify, and it's just more inertia on my part that I haven't done it. I should. Oh, we got a naval battle, looks like going. Or we had one. We killed a liner. French liner went down. Oh, come on. No. No, we don't want to go there. We want to go here. Oh. No. Come on, I want to go straight into here. No, not into Loganville. No. Oh well. Guess we're going in there. Can't click on that well enough. Okay, light bomber prototypes have advanced. Very good. Which would probably grade out. Yes, light bombers. We need to start on this, and yeah, let's do that. Oop, took down a heavy cruiser. Cool. Now we are prepared to bombard there, and they're coming in here. We're going to invade hopefully here. And we're going to also see if we can make sure they invade straight into the port, because I don't want them cut off. Good, okay. Go back to this view. They're going there, so these guys come up here. Yeah, join that attack. You guys come there. Good, we're battling into the mountains, that's why that's a bit tough. Oh, might as get, well, let's get you pushing in there. And 2 submarine groups down. Good. Okay. Well, I guess this is all one. I guess, okay, well, cool. Stop. Yeah, rebase to there. I don't think I don't know that we're going to garrison it. Definitely not going to garrison it with these guys. Rebase. We're going to rebase down to here. Can they attack up there and win? Maybe. Good if we can get that. Ah. That's a good idea about Panama. That is. Well, just to give you some thoughts, I'm just sort of getting transports and ships and been focusing on where I think is more important to do now than just sometime. I do want to get up here and get Attu, which will give me a port. I want to build an air base from there. Now, most of these islands don't have any basing on them. So, and naval bases take a while to build, but I'm thinking of invading at least one of these islands here and building a port on it and an air base to push into at least here. I don't know how far we will push there. Panama, I just don't know if we're going to have the invasion range from here to there or from here to there. I don't even know if we can get to the Galapagos here. And then if we can get to the Galapagos, obviously we can get to here. There's some sort of shipping out here. But yeah, Panama would be a good way to hurt them. You're absolutely right about that. But higher priority than that is to try to save Italy. And I think, as Nick, whose post doesn't watch, I guess he's not available on Saturday, which is cool, does watch the series, is really pushing me to, oh good, where they're trying to do an invasion of Malta, which will definitely help. Very good, very good. But if we can attack, I think down here is helping. I think having all these units here, some of them would have gone north. I don't know if any of them were pulled out from the Italian African front up here, but I think they would have eventually ended up there. Having them down here is a distraction, and coming in here is also a distraction, especially if we can get ashore here from adventures there. And of course, if we push into Persia, once we take, you know, here, that will again do more of the strategy of sitting along the Soviet border and distracting units from fighting on the Eastern Front. That's sort of some of the ideas. That's sort of the priority, is doing this before going after America. Because if Italy collapses, Germany's going to collapse. Because we can see it when the scripted D-Day invasion hits. Germany doesn't have much to fight it right now, so it's going to have to shift forces that way. And if Italy's already collapsed because of scripted invasions down here, I think we're going to have the series we're gonna lose because of that. Okay, we've annexed the Philippines. Very good. We've conquered the Philippines. That is most excellent. Okay, guys, you stop here. You guys come up here. Okay. No, you don't need to come down there. Okay, so we've got that. That is good. That denies so much basing to everybody. I mean, they really only had this left as a base at the last bit, but that will help us out considerably. Now, do we still have more of the island garrisons? No. Okay. Are they being produced? No. Okay. What does revolt risk look like? Okay, brown. Brown 2. Okay, so this is just a little bit under that. Okay, so, well, you see, we need to maintain some level of occupation because that's ripe for revolt. That's ripe for revolt. These guys, we sent these guys over here mostly just to chase them because they should be losing all organization because of lack of supplies. Come down that way. Oh! No, I didn't know. Ari Ryan? Okay. Yeah, I want more supply. I want lots of supply. It just used to things and just want that to not be an issue. Okay, cool, good to know. People have different handles, and I don't always keep track of that, sorry. How are you doing? Okay, you're about ready to collapse. Governor's bodyguard, it looks like, is about ready to collapse in its attack of me. Okay, you guys come down here. This view. Okay, armor units. Head north while you Okay, you're in bad shape, you're in bad shape. So you're just going to hold out until we get some better shaped units up to the front. Okay, you've held out, and now you go into the offensive. Here, I think. Yeah. When you play as Germany a lot, you sort of pick up habits. And I like the idea of having lots of supply, so if things sort of go bad, that's not the issue. You have the sort of weird supply bug of things. So let's see. You're going to port their attack. Okay, we just, and now we got these guys. Okay, let's go back to look at this view here. Okay, you come down and, yeah, transport down to there for that. March along there. That's what we've got. Okay, suppose I get. Oh, there's submarines out there. So let's go patrol for some submarines. That'll. Oh, and we're. Oh, damn it! Didn't get to the right place, but attack there. While you still have supply, we can fly it in if need be, but I would prefer to not have to do that. And we've got one submarine. Good. Well, let's see. Where... Well, we probably don't need these up here anymore. I say that... No, not that. Not that. I'm clicking on the wrong thing. Click on the right one. There we go. In that now there's nowhere for them to really base too much around here to get there. So let's come down here with you. Major defeat. Where do we have the major defeat? Is that here? No. Somewhere here. I don't know which one this is a major. Oh, here. Okay, so they've taken here. Okay, well, whatever. Not that I like it, but I don't really care that much. Okay, Arno, what good would the Tiger tanks do? What would they do? Why would you need a Tiger tank? Fight Chinese tanks? No, don't need a Tiger tank to fight Chinese tanks. To fight American tanks? Yeah, that would be good. But Tiger tanks are very vulnerable to air attack. And so, what are you going to do? Put one on a ship and take it on an island? Drop it off on an island that it's now a pillbox that sort of moves around a little bit? And since the, just airburst rounds from naval gunfire or 50 caliber machine guns strafing the top of a Tiger tank that in the engine compartment, going to shut down their engine compartment. So now pretty soon you're coming to be an immobile target. I think a concreted pillbox would have done better. Yeah, no, I just don't see I don't see a useful purpose for a Tiger tank. They bought one. They bought one and they had it at the Japanese embassy for a while to be shipped. Never got a chance to ship it. The Germans took it over, took it back, didn't give them the money back, but they took it back from them at some point and used it. Defense of Berlin, or maybe before then, but at some point they took the Tiger tank that the Japanese bought. No, that was a British, the Ronson Lighter thing. But really, that's actually, if you look at the statistics, that's incorrect. It was actually rather hard to kill a Sherman crew, quite honestly. Some in the Philippines, well, again, the terrain, I don't know that there's hardly any bridges in the Philippines that it could go across. The Philippines are actually a rather rugged sort of terrain, so it's not necessarily rivers, big river bridges, but just minor little streams kind of thing, bridges. it really wouldn't have been that useful. Now, if you're talking something like a T-34, yeah, that could be more useful because that could take on an American tank. It's not too heavy. Yeah, no, that could be a thing. But it's just really not needed. Now, again, yeah, if Japan's going to take on the Soviet Union, it certainly could be useful, but that's a completely different direction of guiding your military. Because quite honestly, the Japanese, and I've got pictures, been collecting some, mostly for use for events or thumbnail images like Japan defeats Soviets, you know, so you got Japanese soldiers standing around a bunch of captured Soviet tanks, mostly fairly, you know, pre-war tanks or equipment or something. They did do some of that, but really they got beat by the no, it wouldn't. Air power would just kill that sucker. That's just an immobile target. The P-1000 Rate. That's just an immobile target. And that. And no, anti-aircraft doesn't. No, it just makes it a little bit harder. It's not a real ability to do that. Okay, now that you're down here, naval strike this area. Hitler and his super weapons that wanted gigantic things. No, not finding those subs. You strike a bit more over here. This is the Thai Navy? Yeah, okay, the Thai Navy is advancing out here. Cool. The Thai Navy is moving out. Okay, good. We're taking these guys on. They keep keeping me from advancing along here by just being here. Okay, spawning advance. We can look through binoculars better, or we have better binoculars. One of the two, or both. I'm not sure which that is supposed to be. But we'll stop that. Did we have another tech? Nav ground crew training has improved. Very good. Our naval air ground crew training. Okay. I'm going to push ahead on fighter pilot. We want our fighters to be extra special good. Yeah, it as a big piece of design. Obviously, never built it. Never even got close to building it. But yep, we lost Dar el Salam. Never actually built it, but as sort of a concept of a big super machine of some sort, yeah. But as a practical war thing, no, it's not worth the effort. More planes, more bombers, more real tanks. Those would all be much, much better. Well, good thing we have all the air power out here now. That's helping with some of the British shipping that's trying to disrupt our invasion here. Light cruiser crew training. Very good. No, crew training. It's down here. And it looks like we also have fire control systems. Yes, see, fire control systems. Okay, now, I am an infrastructure player. I've learned that about myself. So, let's do advanced education. That'll get us more leadership. These just have a lot of costs associated with them, so I'm not doing them so much because I don't think they're necessary. Ooh, radar guided bomb. Radar guided missile. We don't have rocket engine 1 secret weapon. Okay, well we need rocket engine 1. So let's do some rocket tests. Let's go back here and do some rocket tests. Not that I really want to have rockets, and I'm not going to pursue that. Just enough to get the radar guided bombs and rockets. Now, oh, do we need to get, yes. Click, stop clicking. Okay, let's come over here. What if we were to come out here? Convoy rating passive. There we go. See if there's anything moving through that area. Yes, so you're trying to retake your territory. Okay. And we're having a little bit of a supply issue, I see. Okay, come there. But I don't know if a fortress on tracks is a good idea. I mean, yeah, that's what it was, and see, there's two things. One, is it something that's workable? Two, is it a good idea in comparison? We were talking earlier about comparisons. Is it a good idea in comparison to just building more Panzer IVs or more Panthers or something like that? And well, the point is, Tippett, the British Navy sinks everything at sea, and so the Germans need to have ships that go on the land. That's the purpose. Now, again, it's silly, but that's sort of the point. Napoleon figured that one out. Now, of course, America's taken it over, and if China is being silly, Russia, or the Soviets were being silly, Russia's stopped being silly. You don't try to defeat the great naval power at sea. You defeat them some other way. Napoleon figured out wherever there's enough water to float a boat, the British will win the war. Will rule, or whatever was his term, but he meant by militarily. And so, whether you could build it and whether it would work, but is there something that makes more sense, comparatively? And I would argue that it was a stupid idea compared to just about anything else you care to build. Okay, well, largely, let's pause this. Largely, we have built up. Obviously there's still a few islands out here, and not that I don't care. And this looks to be American controlled down here. American Samoa, yeah, okay. What's this? Is this no Ponte? Fiji's out here somewhere, I think. I don't know. But yeah, there's Fiji. I do sort of still want to gather up these, but I think now. We should think about getting ready to give Tippett a bit of a visit, because we've gotten control of most all of the ports that aren't in Australia, because there are some that could still, base out of what Darwin up here isn't this? Yeah, Darwin up here, that could base submarines or something to attack here. So we need to go after maybe Darwin and something along here. For invasion purposes of Australia. Leave us alone. No. We've got to. I know. So we need to, but we need to concentrate the forces. We need to come in and hit with a big sledgehammer, as it were. No, I don't like using those if I can avoid it. They're super slow. Okay, well, let's come up to here. Let's see if we can... okay, you're just... Well, you're getting ready. No, you're getting ready to shift forces to here once we have a port, so I don't want to use you. Okay, well, let's see if we just have some more transport. Okay, yeah, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Between everything, these guys should do well, because I was sort of looking at using these, oh, we also have, where are you? Sort of you, but let's come over here and grab some of these forces as well, particularly some of these airborne forces. No one likes Tasmania. You know, you could almost convince me on that Tasmania. Oh, well, yeah. See a cool big thing. Like I was talking earlier, engineering is a cool thing, yes. I could almost agree with you on Tasmania, because Tasmania used to have basically the best gun laws in the world. I don't know that anybody had any better. Meaning you could own a machine gun. There were gun collectors that moved to Tasmania just so they could have a really cool... And all it took was one mass shooting, and all the Tasmanians went, oh, we got to ban all of our guns. And so because of that, I could almost agree with you. Because they went from what would have been a good society into a bad society. Because I may be wrong, I may be getting wrong statistics, but to my understanding is since they've banned most guns in Australia and had all that buyback stuff, violent crime has increased in Australia. Now, I don't know that gun crime has increased, but violent crime has increased. Because people with baseball bats or cricket bats or whatever, just big sticks, that are big, strong people, can now terrorize weak people. And so, yeah, Australia's made some bad gun decisions. And so I'm not in favor of that. Yeah, UK police used to not have much problems with the populace, but now, because of who they've imported, because of various laws. Let's come down this way with you. No, so I called it. Oh, they took a tire and called it a dangerous weapon. Yeah. Yeah, and immigration may be as much of a factor as taking away guns. I won't state that guns are the only reason. You know, removing them from the national populace is the only reason for increase in violence. But we can look at places in America where you have fewer legal guns, you have greater violence, often done by guns, because guns are available, but you can't have them legally. So legal people can't have guns. And if any of you are thinking that guns, and I know there's some of you are Europeans, are thinking that guns and that kind of stuff is a bad thing, well, look at Switzerland, people. They have basically, well, for a while you had to own guns. I don't think you have to own guns anymore because, you know, as part of the Swiss reserve army type thing. You know, you had to have military, not military style, but military weapons. Now I don't think you will no longer have to have them, but you guys come over to here. They are now, but they're still basically, you can own a machine gun just as easily as you can own a you know, a single-shot hunting rifle in Switzerland, and you have the lowest violent crime in all of Europe. That, and they've also kept out a lot of the immigrants too, so maybe those two things go hand in hand. But you're not seeing a lot of crazy Swiss going and shooting up schools, or not more than other European nations. So, yeah. Yeah, and, you know, that's the thing, because in Britain, Harry, where are you from? Just, if you don't, maybe you said before, I don't know, I don't remember, sorry. I mean, just like country or that way, I just know a little bit who I'm talking to. Britain has two legal systems. Down here it has common law. Up here it has a vague version of the Napoleonic Code in Scotland. So in Scotland they have a different stuff. So you can proactively just ban things in Scotland. They banned, oh, you're from Kentucky. Okay, cool. Maybe you said that before. I don't know if you did. But when I was up there, paint guns, you know, that shoot paintballs that people run around and shoot each other with. They banned them in Scotland because you could put marbles in them and shoot somebody. And if you shoot them in the head, you can crack their skull. So they just went out and banned them in Scotland because you could do that in Scotland. But you can't do that in England because you have to pass a law through Parliament to get them banned. And to this day, I don't think they're banned down in England. And so people who want to play paintball have to travel down into England to do so. So the different legal systems in Britain. Knives were a big thing when I was living there because of the gang violence running around in a lot of it in Glasgow, but also in Edinburgh going on. But it depends on how if you're carrying a knife and a kilt, because that's culturally appropriate, you can do so. But if you're carrying a knife and you're wearing jeans and a leather jacket or something, looking like a gang member, that wasn't appropriately. So, yeah, well, Scotland is an interesting case. There's a lot of stuff going on there. Yeah, yeah, Count Dankula, or however you say it. Yeah, and see, that's sort of, that gets to Scotland's legal code, because Scotland has always, well, it's never been fully integrated into the United Kingdom. And I could go to show many examples from day one of the Act of Union through to this day. It's never fully been part of the United Kingdom. So, or, you know, and by that I'm saying Wales and England, and then later Ireland, once that was more unified than Scotland. Scotland always has been a bit more separate than even Ireland from things. So, yeah, there's various things that governments can do, but it's also easily changed back as it is changed that way. So there's a lot of problems going on, and a lot of the problems with Scotland and the Scottish system is because they're oppressed by England. And so you talk about being oppressed, freedom of speech. Well, Scotland has had a history because they banned the wearing of certain clothes there. Basically anything tartan was for a while banned wearing in Scotland. Not sure what you're saying, Ari. I don't get what's going on. Oh, is Italy invading Britain? No, 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 no. This here, no, this is American territory. This is an event by Black Ice to give the U.S. air bases to better bomb Germany and to hopefully get and they normally do send a lot of air power, but to get air power and hopefully get ground troops to be able to attack Britain. And another American base is here. These are all bases for America to get America more operational in Europe. So that's what you're seeing and you're referring to. So we just don't have good intelligence, but there's some U.S. forces here, I'm sure. Yeah, because of freedom of movement and travel, guns are easily smuggled. And you're not, if you're criminals and you want to have guns, you can have guns. Because we can see the amount of volume of drugs smuggled around the world. They will smuggle guns. So guns aren't the problem. They really aren't. But get back to Scotland. Scotland, because of the Jacobite risings, and if you remember 1745 in the name, that's the Jacobite rising. So I sort of know this perspective going back. There's been a lot of repression going on in Scotland. Scottish people have been repressed for a long time. If they played nice and played within the English system, the English were very happy to have them as part of the English system, including prime ministers and other, leadership people, military units, the Highlander units that are excellent through the various, whether it's the Napoleonic era or World War II. So if you're playing as gently and part of the English system, they're happy to have full participation of the Scots, also helping literally and figuratively building the empire. But they are repressed. They are politically repressed. You can't have a political party that wants to overthrow the English government. Oh, the independence movement. Oh, but we're keeping the Queen. Oh, but we're keeping the royal government. Oh, but. So, look at that. We need Ireland to join and get the IRA back in power. Ulster belongs to the Ireland. No, we're not doing that. That's not going to happen in this game. I don't think. I just don't think it's game-wise possible to happen. So if you look at that, and so understand the repression in Scotland from that perspective, it's an easy jump from that into repressing other speech. So they haven't had free speech in hundreds of years, since before America was independent. Scotland hasn't. So yeah, you just have to understand it from that perspective. Okay, TAC ground crew training, and so we often see it as a situation with like modern PC speech and things like that. Yeah, it is that too, but that isn't the reason for it, or just the extent of it. Okay, now have the ships? No, ships haven't made it there yet. They haven't made it here yet. Okay. Yeah, so we lost a province. So long as we're not getting any units really cut off, we'll support that attack. Help that move a little bit faster. Okay, yeah, for some reason we're having supply problems there. Why is that? Well, basically everywhere that practically could use supply, and we don't have any coming in there, but could use supply is coming in, so I guess it's just a thing, not much we can do about it, other than, well, maybe I'll keep moving. And we've taken out a DD. Oh, good. The one that was escaping from here. Okay, good. We've got this base. Yeah, so we very much have gotten the last real base that isn't on the Australian mainland in this part of the world here. Okay, Tippett, thanks. Well, Scotland wants to be conquered by somebody now. I used to work for Scottish independence. I've now no longer support independence. When the last Scottish referendum for independence, their whole thing was independence within Europe. And so that was like, what? What? You know, you're not looking for independence, Scotland. You're looking for independence from London so you could be ruled directly by Brussels. And then when what seems to be the same group of people voted to remain within the EU, well, that was hardly leaving much Tippett. And so they're voting to remain part of the EU. That isn't independence, people. So the people of Scotland do not want independence. They want to be part of an EU, but not ruled through London. They have given up any sort of because I don't think the people of Europe understand, because I'm an American, so I understand this. Just a second. If you have a a big political union, you're going to have continual cultural erosion, okay? It's just going to happen. It'll happen because people from Italy will move to Scotland. One of the places I used to eat all the time in Scotland was a pizza / fish and chip shop. They did both pizza, which was okay pizza, but didn't like it terribly much. It was just okay. Which I actually liked some of the, I think it was Pizzaland pizza better, and did, you know, the sort of British fish and chip stuff in Scotland. And it was L'Alba di Oro, Scottish fish or whatever in Italian, but it was run by Italians. The people first language that that worked there were Italians, and there's nothing wrong with that. But a few Italians living in Scotland is cool. But if you get a huge number of Italians living in Scotland, you're going to see Scottish culture erode by other cultural influences, for good or for bad. It's just going to happen. And so you're going to get that. And you're also going to get other standards. And you're going to get people, oh, well, we need to speak some other language. And, oh, well, you're speaking to somebody in what you think is English, or your language, the Scottish accent, but they don't understand you because you're speaking a Scottish accent. And so you have to speak more like the English speak. And so you're going to get cultural erosion. It's just going to happen. There's no way to not have that happen. And there's, of course, people out there that are universalists that want to see one culture. Oh, the music and the food and the... no, that's not the real culture. That's part of the culture, but that's not the real culture. You know, they want all those differences, but they don't want to have different value systems in the world. They want to have one value system. And they want to have one cultural way of interacting. And they're sort of universalists. And so that's what will happen when you have big political units. I know this. I'm an American. I'm part of a big political unit. I see cultural erosion every day. And it's as much from people from New York coming to California as it is from people outside of the United States coming into the United States. So this, again, and I know some people, oh, that's racist of you. No, I'm not talking about the race of anybody. It's not about the skin color. I knew a few people that had dark skin that were very Scottish in their behavior because they had enculturated and had moved into Scotland long enough before, and they were very much thinking of themselves as Scots. They weren't thinking of themselves as what other parts of the world. So you're going to have, if you're part of a bigger political unit, you're going to have cultural erosion. And a good example of this would be Iceland. They're isolated. So, and of course it's Iceland. Who wants to really freaking move to Iceland? If you describe yourself after being frozen, you know, no. Okay, so that's part of the thing. But it's also that it just simply doesn't have a lot of other people moving there. And so they can keep from having lots of cultural erosion. So Scotland, is it the land of Scots? And again, this gets back to, I think it was this episode, maybe the last episode I brought this up. What is a nation? Is it an empty bucket that you just pour people into it? Or is it a definable organization of people that happens to own some territory? A good example of this was, you know, in Scotland, you don't have, some of them, last one was King John of Ballio, not King John, brother of Richard, but King John Ballio, was the last king of Scotland, basically appointed by a Norman, where what you have in Scotland are the king of the Scots, king of the people, not king of the land. So traditionally, they saw themselves as a definable group of people. It was actually one of the earliest expressions of nationalism in Europe, you know, in any sort of large scale. And so, not as this is the boundary of Scotland is this, and whatever people live in it, we're the king of. No, we're king of the Scots. Whether the country gets bigger or smaller, it's the Scottish people. And so that kind of idea I support. But that's not what the Scots today support. They want to be part of the EU. They want to be the same as the Swedes, and they can move to Sweden, and the Swedes can move to Scotland, and we're just all a bunch of people moving around in political organization to decide the various political stuff. That is not a nationalism. That is not a national identity. That is, you know, an American state. And the Scots have lost that. Partially because they have been politically repressed for so freaking long. Yeah, Tippett, but still it makes a good story. I remember that, Ari. But see, you don't see culture when you don't see a difference. Meaning that if everybody looks the same, everybody speaks the same, and everybody, excuse me, everybody thinks the same, speaks the same, looks the same, you just think everybody's the same. This isn't culture. Culture is something exotic and different and flavorful and whatnot. What they don't realize, what they don't see, is that they're a different culture than the Germans, than the French, than the Somalis, than the Japanese. Because the Japanese would definitely see them as a interesting culture. And so they sort of lost that because Sweden had been, notice I said past tense, had been a very culturally homogenous people, and because of their geography, they hadn't been invaded in their sort of home territory almost ever. I'm trying to think back. 30 Years' War, it was Gustavus Godolphus battling out in Germany, or they were battling the Russians in what is today Finland, you know, or having sea battles in the Baltic states. So they have not been forcibly encountering at home other cultures. So that's sort of, again, an isolation, and it's why they are so homogeneous, or had been. Okay, fire control solutions, advanced. I think that is here under Navy, and basically that is, well, that's training. we need to, what ships? Oh, small ships. Okay, no, it's this. And it's grayed out. Okay, good. We just need to know. Saw that up there, so I knew. Okay, range finding equipment. Also, oh, for artillery. It looks like range fighting equipment. Okay, that one is pushing too far forward. Anti-air ammunition. We'll switch over to that. Yeah, we're getting ready for a paradrop, so that would be good. And we're going to take this opportunity to end the episode here. I want to thank you all for watching. I want to thank you for liking the videos. If you haven't already, please subscribe to me on YouTube and follow me over on Twitch if you want to watch this live and interact with me. And of course, I love hearing from you. You can comment on any of the topics, gameplay, or whatnot. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.